Hello, Will here, and today we are in Skyrim, and we will be checking out 3 mods. We will be checking out 2 player home mods, and another one that adds in something for those who, like to have a drink or two. So, first one we're going to look at is more meadery and wineries. I'll get the word right. But more meadery and wineries by 11 Wort 111. So obviously it's pretty self-explanatory what this one does, and what it will do is that it will add in basically more meaderies. It says wineries, but basically more alcohol based buildings dotted around Skyrim. Now this is Hunting Brew Meadery, so this obviously was already in the game. But let's say if we were to look at the map, we will see a lots of like markers like these. So they're not discovered, but they are on your map, so you know where to go. So as you can see, we got Windhelm Meadery here. If we go up to Windhelm, we've got one here, Windhelm Wines, where White Pine Ale. Drolat and Sons Meadery, Bottles Winter Rum, and they're all dotted around Skyrim. I'm not so sure exactly how many it is, but it looks like a good amount. There is also one location which I have been to just to have a look at it, which is Snobs Manor, which we will go and look at that one later on. But first off, let's just, for now, for example, we'll go and have a look at Valdi Meadery. Alright, here we are at Valdi Meadery. And, this is the kind of thing that's going to add in, like, just dotted around. Ow. There's a rat outside. Oh, he's dead now. So I ain't got to worry about him anymore. So yeah, there's probably not going to be like loads of stuff on the outside with most of these and stuff like that. But you'll see all these buildings dotted around the place. So let's just have a look inside Valdi Meadery. Alright, so here we are inside the Valdi Meadery. And so yeah, you're gonna see there's people in here. So we got Valdor. Hello, Valdor.
Tidings. Take a look.
You can see, they're gonna, he's gonna sell. They're probably all gonna sell their own different types of mead, or their different ales, meads, wines, and stuff like that. So, Baldwin Mead restores 15 points of stamina, cures all diseases. You haggle for 20% better prices for 0 seconds. Okay, the 0 seconds thing doesn't really help. But it does its own thing. Restores 70 points of stamina. Stamina is increased by 20 points for 60 seconds. Bada bing, bada boom. So obviously they'll all have their own stuff to sell, their own unique ales or wines or meads in relation to wherever they are. And obviously, yeah. Again, obviously you can just steal the bottles if you wanted to. But so yeah, this isn't going to be extensively like an in-depth kind of thing or anything like that. But what it will do is, it just brings a bit more sort of like lore kind of friendly buildings and businesses to Skyrim itself. Except for over here. There is a massive bottle, absolutely huge, and I have exactly no idea why it's so big, but yoink. Right then, so that's a little look in one of these ones. So we're going to have a look in another one, and we are going to go up to Windhelm and look at one of the ones in the Windhelm area. Alright, and here we are at Windhelm Wines. So once again, it's going to be one of these, just a building on the outside. Unfortunately, this one does appear to be floating a little bit, unfortunately. You know, it is unfortunate that it does seem to be floating here. Now, I don't know if that was just because if it's just because it's bugged out, or if it's they didn't line up the landscape, or the landscape hasn't loaded in correctly with it. But, you know, we're not going to worry about the outside too much, because we're more interested in what it's like inside. And here we are inside. So obviously they would have obviously used, most likely with a lot of these buildings, sort of the same interiors as pre-existing buildings. So for example, I think this is meant to be Candlehearth Hall. That's actually in the city of Windhelm. But we're just going to bring a torch out, try and brighten it up a little bit. So you can see we got Black Veil Wine, Gerald Mountain Wine. I'm just going to take that. We're going to take that. We got Forest Blend and Forest Blend and Dalmain Wine. Ooh, lots of different wines. So let's have a look. So we got Black Veil. Resist 40% of poison damage for 50 seconds. Lock picking is 40% easier for 120 seconds. You are harder to detect for 120 seconds. So actually not a bad wine. Dalmain, you know, it's a little bit weaker in what it does, but still useful. Forest Blend does quite a few different things, and actually not actually that bad for what it does. And Gerald Mountain, you know, a slightly weaker wine, but this might still be useful. Oh, that's locked, so I can't get through there. I'm not going to spend ages trying to unlock it. Soldier fragments. Another bottle of Dalmain wine. Yoink. That's an apprentice door. Let's see if we can at least unlock this one. See what's behind the apprentice door. Well, not unlocking it just yet. Alright, there we are. As you can see, we've got people in here. So we got Birdie the Steady, Gonder Headblood, lots of money. Yeah, you got a whole bunch of stuff to steal if you want to. I'm not going to worry about spending ages trying to unlock that bloody door. I can't bother because I don't have the ring of unlocking at the moment.
Is that magic? Careful, please.
No.
Take a look.
You sell... so she just seems to sell food. She also has obviously some of the wines actually on her as well.
Good day.
And then there's like a shite ton of wines everywhere around here. Even chilled wine. Take a bottle of chilled wine. Let's see what that does. Chilled wine. Yeah, not too bad actually.
Huh?
No, I can't get out now. There you go. And we're free. But yeah, so you know, that's this one here. And it looks like they do give you some lore on how these wines are actually made. You know, so you know, it's not a bad little bad one. I mean, yeah, obviously you might come across some of the buildings might not quite line up with the landscape quite too correctly, and unfortunately some of the characters, you know, the characters do seem to have the face glitch. But you know, although you know, those are just like kind of smaller details that can easily be fixed, or fixed well enough that it's not too much of an issue whatsoever, even though really right now it's not really too much of an issue. So we're just going to have a look at the Rich Snobs Manor, and then we will move on. And here we are at the Rich Snobs Manor. Now I'm not going to go inside. I've had a look inside. I kind of know what there is inside, and I'm not going to show that off. I'm going to let you lot discover that for yourself. But you know, we're going to just have a little look on the outside, just to give you a little taster. You know, so obviously, you know, you'll come up here, and then up here you'll see all the people. So we have, you know, there's, you know, party goers. So obviously there's some kind of party going on here. You know, you got another party goer here, another party goer here, and there's another party goer here. So you know, got a whole bunch of party goers. And on the other side, which you can't get to unless you go through the building, there is actually like a blacksmith forge that has a lot of like gold ingots, gold ores, Debella statues and stuff like this. You know, a lot of expensive looking, rich, snobby items. But you know, it's just this another location, but this one isn't exactly a meadery. It's not a meadery, it's not a winery or anything like that. It's actually just a very, you know, it's a rich man's place basically. But there's more to it than meets the eye into the ways of story / lore. But if you're interested in having a look, then you're going to have to go down to the description below and check out the mod for yourself. But right, that's it for mod number 1, which again was more meadery and wineries by 11 Wort 111. And again, there will be a link in the description below to this mod if you want to check it out for yourself. But we're going to move on to mod number 2, which is a small player home that was just created by a person that they wanted to use something in this house, but then decided that they wanted to share it. Alright, and here we are with mod number 2, which is known as A Place to Rest by Crotone 697. So, A Place to Rest is just a simple player home mod, which is more set to be sort of like for like, you know, if you want something that's just small, not anything too crazy, nothing too extravagant, but gives you what you need, has a bit of decoration done to it, and you know, maybe you're not too worried about a player homes, but you just want something simple. A Place to Rest can add that in. So as you can see, you know, it is a little bit decorated on the outside. As you can see, you know, you got some mammoth skeletons on the roof. You got some wooden pikes all around the actual building itself. And on the outside, you do have all your stuff that you need for, you know, for your smithing. You got your oven and your chest. So we're going to have a little look. So you know, you got your tan rack, you got an oven, you got a chest for some simple storage. Grindstone, anvil, you know, the workbench, you know, the bare necessities you need for smithing on the outside. And obviously, you know, there's no fancy way to get inside. You don't need a key or anything like that. Where you will find it on the map, because this is the different thing about A Place to Rest, is as you can see, it's near Pelagia Farm, but the actual house itself doesn't have a map marker. There's no map marker on the map for you or for that, so there's no map marker to fast travel to, there's no map marker to discover or anything like that. It's a hidden location to a degree, but it's easy enough to find because it's basically right next to Pelagia Farm. So even though if you want to fast travel back there, you just travel to Pelagia Farm and then boom, there's the house. So I'm just going to have a little look in A Place to Rest, or as it's known on here, my home. Alright, so here we are. So the house itself is follower friendly, so that your followers can follow you inside. You know, and you got some basic shelving on here already. So you got Detect Life, Shrine of Mara. You got a few potions to take. You can take if you want. Steel ingots. You got a dresser, chest, and another chest here for a bit of storage. You got a very comfy looking stone bed. Yeah, that's not going to do very well for your back, is it? Your back's going to get destroyed on that bed. But at least you got something to hide behind when you're dying in bed. You know, you got yourself a little cooking pot, which Meadery is using right now. You know, just a nice little simple fireplace, nice little simple setup dining table. Got a dragon skull that's lighting up the place. That's been just resting on a crate. You know, it's a bodge job of a hanging, but it works. And if you go downstairs, you know, you got a little bit. You got some glowing mushrooms down here. Got some mushrooms glowing apparently. Then you know we go down here. Obviously, you know you got some more basic storage, alchemy lab. There's a beginner's end table apparently. There's some random stuff. You got some potion recipes that you can just take straight away, read, learn what you need to make them. Bookcases. You got your own throne. You got an arcane enchanter. Obviously, some more storage there. You know. So yeah, again, this isn't anything crazy, it's not anything extravagant, it's a player home with the bare necessities to what you need if you just want to jump into the game, have a home straight off the bat, and does what you need to do with all the basic craft and stuff that you need, and the basic storage that you need. You know, and so it's not designed to be one that you can easily get lost in. The one that looks extremely extravagant, that almost looks like it's not actually part of Skyrim or anything like that. So yeah, it's simplicity, but it works. So you know, is it a terrible home? No. You know, it's just the bare essentials. So I wanted to throw this one in. So this was A Place to Rest by Crotone697, and I will leave a link in the description below if you want to add this home into your game. But what happens if you're looking for something that's a bit more, I don't know, Lovecraftian, you know, more, you know, Cthulhu-esque? So we're going to jump into mod number 3 and travel back to the times of H.P. Lovecraft. Alright, here we are with mod number 3, which, yeah, it's a shameless plug-in because it's one of mine, but I want to show it off, don't I? So, this is a troll. Hold on, we're just going to watch. Go, my minions, go! Kill the troll, my minions. Kill the troll. I said kill. Fine. I'll finish it off. Right. Apart from I've just realised I don't have my sword. Right, there you go. Boom. But right. Now with that interruption out of the way, here we are in mod number 3, which is the Edge of Nowhere player home. Now this can be found on Xbox and PS4, and what it does, it puts in the game a Apocrypha styled player home. But the question is how do you get to Apocrypha from here? I'm on Skyrim. Normally you can't get to Apocrypha whilst on Skyrim. And also, why am I in Labyrinthian? This is further from Apocrypha than anything else. Well, there is a particular reason why we're here. Now, if you don't know, in this area, you'll normally tend to find a wooden mask. I've already got the wooden mask, but I'm going to show you where to find it if you're someone who's new to the game and doesn't know where it is. So if you come to Labyrinthian, you'll be looking for this little tiny building here. And then obviously you'll go inside, and then normally there will be a little wooden mask, which is basically this here. You'll normally find this basically just next to the skeleton, and then normally what you'll do is you'll put the mask on and it will teleport you to basically this very same place but a point in the past. It's all the stuff to do about the Dragon Priest masks and stuff like that, which is obviously something already in the game. But the thing is that there was always a limitation to where you could use a mask. I'm not entirely sure what the range was, but I do believe that the range for the mask was pretty much only just like this little building. If you got too far away from from this building, the mask wouldn't work, and you would just end up wearing the mask, and that's it. But I've altered the mask, so what we're gonna do is, for example, we are gonna go. Let's go to the furthest place I can. That's away from Riften. So we're gonna travel to Riften.
I had another run-in with a thief's guild.
All right.
Be careful, Mio. The
So
Thieves Guild has Maven
normally,
Blackbriar at her back.
with the mask,
One snap
if
of
I
the
was to
fingers
wear
and
it
we could end
here,
up in
it
the
wouldn't
jail.
work.
I don't know you. You and Rip.
They represent
Shut up.
the reason I'm here.
You know.
I can't just ignore them.
Normally, if you wore the mask here in Riften, nothing would happen. You put the mask on, and it will either automatically be taken off again, or it just wouldn't do what it's supposed to do. But I've altered the mask now, so now you can pretty much use the mask anywhere on the Skyrim map. But I do believe it has to be on the actual Skyrim map and not on Solstheim. But also there is a bit of limitation as well, so it doesn't work when you're like inside a building or inside a cave, but it could be anywhere that is classed part of this entire map. Anywhere. So you can use it inside the city, outside the city, anything like that. So what we're just going to do, we're just going to put the mask on. And off we go. And obviously you end up here. Now, normally if you take the mask off, you'll go back, and what will happen is that you would end up back in Labyrinthian. It won't take you back to where you were, where you used it, it'll take you straight back to Labyrinthian, because that's how the mask works. But if you were to come in here, look around, and on this pedestal here, you'll see this book, called The Edge of Nowhere. And then what you're going to want to do is just basically activate the book. And here we are. Now, it takes a second for the sky to change. And then you get to see the sky is slowly changing. And there we go. Apocrypha sky. Dun dun dun. Apocrypha sky, apocrypha lighting, apocrypha everything. Now, once you're in this spot, you can just then go back to the mask, take it off, and boom. All good, all fine, all happy and dandy. If you want to go back to the sanctuary, all you gotta do is just come up to this word wall and you'll see this little thing here. And there you go, that takes you back to Bromjanar Sanctuary. So the place does actually have a name of Bromjanar. But here we are, here is the Edge of Nowhere. As you can see, it's kind of very Lovecraftian. You know, very Cthulhu-esque, very creepy, very spooky. So what you're going to want to do with this is you're just going to want to come up here, run to the end, and you'll see that there's this little book here. Palace of the Forgotten King. And here we are. Now, yeah, it might seem a bit dark. Well, it seems it's a bit dark on my capture. So obviously I'm going to try and brighten up just a little bit in post editing, just so you can see a little bit more. But lucky enough, since I made it, I know exactly where everything is, so I know exactly where to go. Alright, so once you're in the Palace of Kings, as you can see, it is follower friendly. Though sometimes you may have to wait a few seconds for them to catch up. It kind of depends on where the game wants them to come and spawn in from. So sometimes they might actually spawn in up there, which then takes a few seconds for the game to catch up. And other times they'll spawn in over there, and it's absolutely fine. It just depends on where the game makes the characters spawn. But if you come to the left, over here, we have our little kitchen area over here, where you got a food vessel, you got a wine vessel, you got a couple of ovens, you got your cooking spit. You've also got a lost echo.
Is that magic? Careful, please.
No, it's a torch. Does it look like magic? You've never seen fire before? So, this lost echo is just, just when you can just get rumours from.
Have you seen that shrine of Asura? They say the Dark Elves built it after they fled from Morrowind.
Good for them.
Sight to see.
Yes, good for them. You know, so you know this Lost Echo you can basically just get rumours from, and you'll get a couple of like little miscellaneous quests from them.
Aye.
But there are other Lost Echoes on what is technically the second floor, which are actually merchants, which we'll get to those very shortly. But if we run around, you don't have to worry about the water, because normally in Apocrypha, if you go in the water you'll start getting hurt by it. But in here you don't need to worry about the water. It doesn't hurt you, it doesn't hurt anyone who falls in it, and it's perfectly safe. But if we head over here, we have just like a little throne room kind of area. So you got your own little throne that you can sit on. Got a place where you can hang up weapons, swords, shields. You got some bookshelves for yourself. But also over here we have the Lost Maiden, who is basically a follower.
Is that an amulet of Mara?
Yes.
I'm surprised someone like you isn't spoken for.
No, I'm not. Not at the moment, anyway. But no, so you got the Lost Maiden, who is a follower. So, as you can see, as you can plainly see, yes, they are technically marriable if you wanted to, or you could just have them as a follower. Now, unfortunately, I've been trying to get Kiana, the follower, to work, and unfortunately for me, she is not working. I know why she isn't working on mine, but I don't know how to fix it. Because it's not I don't think it's a problem on my end. I think it might be a general problem, possibly a problem with the mod, because it changes a person who it's based off another character who was already a character in the game. So and my game is getting confused to who is this original character and who is Kiana. So there are two duplicates of the same character, with one of them being where Kiana is supposed to be. So, unfortunately, since I can't get Kiana as a follower, we're going to take the Lost Maiden.
Lead the way.
So there we go. Now we have the Lost Maiden. Oh! And she blew up my candle. Haha! But there was also a very recent addition to the Edge of Nowhere, which is the Lost Armory, which you can find just behind the throne. And here we are in the Lost Armory. So obviously in the Lost Armory, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's an armory. So you can see we've got some mannequins that you can use. So you got mannequins, you got, I think it's 6 on this side, 6 on this side. So there's like 12 mannequins all together. You got some racks weapon racks on the wall here. You got some weapon racks on the wall over there. As well as more coats of arms. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason when I put the coats of arms in, they've done this. Because obviously normally the weapons would be there on the actual plaques, but for some reason the weapons are actually on the wall, rather than on the actual plaque. But, you can still take the weapons. All you'll need to do is just look at the weapon, and remove it, and then when you want to replace it with something, you just look at the plaque. And you put it on the plaque. I've tested these out and they do work. They're still working. It's just for some reason the game's putting them up there, and I'm not actually 100% sure as to why. But I think it actually looks pretty funky like that, so I've decided to keep it. So it's designed that way, but by accident. It's not an intentional design. It's by accidental design. But I actually quite like the way that it actually looks like that, so I've decided to keep it that way. But you know, this is basically your armory. So yeah, it's nothing crazy, but it's an armory. So let's go and have a look around the rest of the palace of the Forgotten King.
Still here. Lead on.
So she's still following, which is nice. Alright, so if you go to the other end, you'll find this book, which basically takes you up to the upper levels. Here we are. And on your left, you will find everything you need for crafting. So you got your forge, you got a grindstone, you got your smelter, you got a slightly fancier looking workbench. But you also have this Lost Echo, who is a blacksmith merchant.
Huh?
So as you can see, what you got for sale,
Blades,
la la
helmets,
la,
pretty much
and
anything
as
to
you can
suit
see,
your needs.
they sell, you know, all these weapons, armors, all your crafting materials. Yeah. So you got everything that you
Until
need
next
there.
time.
You got a couple more weapon racks over here and a couple of mannequins here. Storage for all your ores and your ingots. If you get to go to the opposite side, here you will find your alchemy table, staff enchanter, arcane enchanter, spider creator. Don't worry, well, it's a Bunin chamber, but obviously this is where you would normally create the spiders that you can use as weapons. And if you talk to this Lost Echo is the alchemist, and this Lost Echo is basically the mage, your court wizard, where you can buy all your spells. You know, and that's how they work. You know, that's basically what their function is basically they are merchants. And then you have obviously a bit more storage of books and, you know, all that fancy kind of stuff. And then obviously you got things for your ingredients, things for all your staff parts, places for your soul gems. My candle's gone out again. There we go. No, place for your, yeah, so all your soul gems. Place where you can put all the stuff to do with, if you want to create any kind of spiders. Then, if we go carry on this way, as you might be able to see, the roof is spinning, so, you know, something to be a bit trippy about. But if we carry on this way, up here, if you look here, you got another mannequin here, another mannequin here. So one thing I just want to point out to anyone who's actually sort of like kind of newish to modding or anything like that, and wants to like create a player home and you know they want to put in mannequins and stuff like that. One thing to note about mannequins is, say for example, I wanted to put this mannequin, say, here. Say for example, on the northern direction. For some reason, I don't know why, this is something that seems to be embedded into the game's data, so it's something that's a little bit more pain in the ass to change. But for some reason, if you put a mannequin that is in the northern direction, it doesn't work. As to why, I don't know. Why that is, again, I don't know. It's something to do with the game itself, and it just doesn't work. So if you create a mannequin, always put it sort of like on like the western direction, southern or eastern direction. Never put it in northern direction, where you have to face it looking north, because then if you do that, you can't activate the mannequin. But again, that's just Bethesda buggering up something there. But you know, you got, you know, obviously you got some mannequins. You got a place where you can put some extra armors, any kind of clothing or jewelry or anything like that if you wanted to. You got your bed, which is here, which is pages of rest, so you can sleep on the very pages that this place is held in, technically. And if we go to the back, we go back outside to the edge of nowhere. And here we are on the roof. Again, they're very spinny and can be very trippy. So wee. But right. So what is the purpose of this roof apart from to make you dizzy? So for you to run through all the moving stuff and not get whacked off. It does mention in the description as well, but in certain areas on the roof there are obviously the walk books, so you will see all these books, and as you can see, it's like the Ballad Mare, Counterhearth Hall, Frozen Hearth. So all of these books will take you to the inns in all of the major cities. So it's like a sort of like a simplified fast travel point to get you back to close to where you were when you used the mask. So say if you were near Whiterun, you would travel back through the book to get you to the Ballad Mare, because at least then you're back to where you were. You know, and so on and so forth. So it depends on which city you were closest to. You travel to the inn of that city, and then push. At least you're close to back to where you were when you used the mask originally. but these are a one-way system, so you can use it. So for example, I can use this to get to the Silverblood Inn, but I can't go to the Silverblood Inn to get me back here. It's a one-way system. And that is basically it for the Edge of Nowhere. Now, the Edge of Nowhere, I do put it in the description, this was a suggested idea by the user Gunfulol. So hopefully this suffices. Hopefully this is the kind of thing that they were looking for, and hopefully they've enjoyed, that they've liked the job that I've done. But also, since this was a suggested idea, obviously there may be more potential updates to this player home in the future. It depends on if they suggest anything else that they would like to see or would like to add in, and if I'm able to do it, it'll get added in. If I'm not, then it won't, and obviously I'll explain to them as to why it can't be done. But that's it for this one. So again, this was Edge of Nowhere player home, created by me, but my username on Bethesda is Will Josem, not Neon Eye. But I will leave a link in the description below if you want to have a look at this place yourself. And let me know if there's anything that you think that could be done with the Edge of Nowhere. Well, that's it for this video. So hoping you like this video. So please remember to like and subscribe, and to share this video around. Why not? Doesn't hurt. If you want to suggest any mods, let me know in the comments below. Or you can find me on Twitter and Discord. Links to them will be in the channel banner, where you can also leave suggestions for any other mods that you might want me to look at. But that's it. Time for me to get out of here. So until next time, I'll see you all later.